Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Chatting Blues. Before we get into this evening's episode, can you hit the like button? Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already, and leave a comment in the comment section, man. It's only Charlton 1, Blues 0. Just saying to Stu, I've literally just got back in the house, so I didn't watch it in my house with Dave as I usually do on an away game if I don't go. Daz came over from Willenhall and we ended up watching it. It was weird, so I'll tell you this little story, Stu. So obviously Daz came over from Willenhall. We thought we'd watch it in the Royal George at the back of the Tilton, the George pub. And so there was me, Dave and Daz. And it was strange because I watched the last game we played against Charlton in League One in the same pub, in the same seat, when we was in League One. And I said to him, I don't expect nothing out of this game. Do you know what I mean? I said, I've just got mad deja vu. And it was the same scoreline, kind of like the same goal from a long throw-in. And I was just like, fucking hell, man. Initial thoughts, Stu. What did you make of today, and kind of what do we do from here now?
Well, I don't know, mate. I kind of like, well, we got to a certain degree, we got little of what we wanted, didn't we? We got Allsop in goal. Yeah, I'm kind of like you. No real expectations, to be honest. I thought, well, if it's 0-0, fine, we got a point. If we can kind of keep it tightish, stay in the game, maybe second half try and go on and win it. Maybe that's what he's planning. And to be fair, I think that's kind of like maybe what he was after, don't you? Just to kind of probe and see if we can get one in the first half, and then he made the change and we kind of went for it a bit more when Stano came on. But yeah, mate, just got a sucker, didn't we?
I think Stansfield played all right. I think Stansfield played all right when he come on. Did you, Stu?
Yeah. I mean, they did. I thought they did play a bit better when Stano come on. They seemed a bit brighter. The movement and that seemed a bit sharper. But it didn't last, did it, mate?
No, it didn't.
It didn't last.
Let's go through the lineup then. So I think I don't know, 80-90% of the fan base was pleased to see Allsop back in goal, and I thought he played well, Stu, picking up a 7.4 here.
To be fair, I mean, I don't think Beda was going to play anyway, mate. I mean, if that knock was as bad as what it was, I mean, his eye and that, he's probably been told he can't play. So whether that's been an enforced change anyway, I reckon it probably was. Because it's like a head injury protocol thing, isn't it, nowadays?
Yeah. And Bradley Mayo is on the bench, so he must have been a kind of, like you said, head injury kind of. It was a forced change, really. It wasn't like Davies picking Allsop. It was more of a forced change. But I thought he'd done really well. His distribution, again, didn't do nothing wrong in terms of shot stopping or anything. So we've seen him Water come back as the right back, Clara and Panzo and Wagner. A little bit about the back line. Was you impressed with any of the back four? I'm going a little bit off. I'm not that impressed with you. What's Stu? I'm really going off this guy. I don't see what he offers.
Mate, this is the whole thing, isn't it? I mean, you've got Bright and you've got Laird, and yet he's playing Iwata there.
Yeah.
What's it saying? What's it say to Bright? What's it say to Laird? In my opinion, Clara, usual self. Good, commanding, does his business, gets on with it. Panzo, I thought he was all right. There's people saying that he was at fault for the goal, but because he was responsible for it going out. But then, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't you? They throw a long ball in and we don't deal with it.
Yeah.
But, I think it was more Dux, really, that was on the man, wasn't he? Because it bobbled about a bit, and it's a bit of a scrappy goal to concede. But yeah,
just quickly on that goal, Stu, just quickly on the goal.
Yeah.
That's not the first time. In fact, I can think of multiple times now we've conceded from long throw-ins. I'm going back to last season now, early last season, and throughout last season and this season. Like, what's the crack here with long throws? Do you know what I mean? Why can't we just clear the ball away?
I'll tell you what the crack is, mate. Right, they've come back into fashion, haven't they?
They haven't.
Last season, really, it was only in League One, really, that you'd see them. But this year, mate, Premier League, everyone's fucking doing them. Apart from us, I think. We ain't got a long throw in us, have we? I don't think.
No.
No, but we can't.
Jack Robinson can take a long throw, but he's never in the same, is he?
So, you know. But yeah, I mean, I thought Solis was pretty good first half. You know, Pake. I don't know, mate. I kind of watched the first 15, 20 minutes. I thought, yeah, we're all right. We seemed quite bright. I think they came into it a little bit. Didn't they have like a half chance or something in about 20, 25 minutes? You know, yeah, it wasn't anything really exciting. Wasn't anything really to write home about, was it?
No. Now let's talk about the front four. So we put Damari Gray out on the left, Deutsch in the 10, Vicente on the right, and Prisco up front. I mean, my thoughts on the front four that first half. I mean, Deutsch was poor all game. You know, kind of.
Didn't really get much, did he?
No, he does go missing in games, but you know, tends to pop up with with a goal or an assist. But he was just poor to that.
We'll accept that, but you know, if you don't pop up with a goal, then it's one of them, isn't it?
Yeah.
But yeah.
Sorry, mate. Talk to me a little bit about the wingers, Gray and Vicente.
I thought Vicente done all right, really. He hasn't been as great as he has in previous games. I don't know whether he's. But mate, we've got some quality in, but are they beating it out of them in training? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm kind of like, a bit like beggar's belief. I mean, Prisco, he was lucky to stay on, really, weren't he? August, he was lucky.
Yeah.
The first half, I mean, he clattered there right back, didn't he?
Yeah.
That one player, bit of a shoulder. Yeah. So I think, he had to swap him early in the second half, didn't he? Or early-ish.
12 touches he had, Stu.
He had another warning, didn't he? But then it's one of those, mate. I mean, if they're not getting it from midfield, if they're not getting it from the wings, then what can they do? You know, we don't seem to be getting the ball to them.
Yeah.
That's my frustration. They're not getting the ball. You know, I remember in the second half, towards the end, there was a cross. I think it was Laird got a cross in from the right, and there was no one, and it's just that ball would have been great in the first half.
Yeah.
But in the second half, mate, where you're putting it at the height where the goalkeeper or their defenders are going to get it, and you're putting it on the 6-yard line. You're not putting it on the ground and shooting it back towards, the outside of the box, like pull it back a bit. It's just, for me, it's wrong decision making.
Yeah. Poor decision making.
Yeah.
We'll look at the kind of match momentum. I don't think there was much in it in terms of match momentum. I thought Blues kind of matched them, but it was just a scrappy game. It reminded me of a League One game, if I'm being honest, and that's what I was expecting. Charlie Coleman on the 74th minute putting Charlton ahead. Possession stats, we had a little bit more. We had 57 versus their 43. Our expected goals was 0.32, which is really poor. We had 7 shots, no big chances at all. We didn't create anything, what I can remember of anyway. Yeah, it was poor. I mean, the substitutions, I thought Stansfield made a difference when he came on. I thought he looked busy, created a couple of chances in terms of like got us on the front foot, got us moving forward. I thought Osman looked slightly better than Damari Gray. His end product again, and his like you touched on, Stu's decision making is off.
He should have crossed. He should have fed Stano in on that as well when he had that shot. He should have. They was there, both of them. If we couldn't find the one, then the other one probably would have got it. And you could see the frustration on their faces and their reactions because the ball never come to him. And he took a bit of a selfish shot on. But the better option, I know it's split seconds that they have to make them, but the better option would have been to play the ball. And that's why they get paid the bloody money, dude, innit? At the end of the day, I'm feeling a bit frustrated.
Yeah, I mean, mate. And then on 81, he brings Patrick Roberts on for Vicente. Too late. Ethan led. I mean, I thought he should have started myself, like you said as well.
And then but they've been the bleeding bench warmer for half the season, isn't it?
Yeah. It's I mean, there's loads of comments from when we'll just go through a few comments, Stu.
Read a few.
I mean, apologies for the lateness as well, guys. So I did schedule this for 5:15. It is 6:15 now, so I do apologise and I appreciate all the comments. So what we're going to do, we're just going to pick a few out, just at random, basically, and then we're going to get to some newer ones. So Aquatics is saying Davis has one way. It's his way, or you don't play. That's been proven time and time again, and it's costing us. We have better players on the bench. We have 2 right backs, but he plays a defensive midfielder there. Can't really grumble.
No. And just go back to that, sorry.
Yeah.
The first bit, Davies has one way to play. It's his way, or you don't play. That mate, I think everyone kind of like sees that. I think it's kind of like people see it a bit more with some of the players who have been shipped out.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, well, you're done, mate. And it's like, you've either spoken up or something's gone on in the background and you're off. It's my way or the highway. Which I understand they're the manager, but a manager's job is to manage the players. You've got to manage the egos and stuff as well, ain't you? And get the best out of them. You can't just be like, well, I'm the manager, do this, do that, do the other. It's a manager's responsibility in every role in life to bring the best out of their employees or the people they work with, innit?
Yeah.
So
1 second, guys. I'm going to put the link in, guys, if you want to come on. Sorry, I usually pin it on the top. So if you go to the bottom of the comments now, I'm going to paste it. If you want to join me and Stu, the link is going in now. So if you go to the bottom of the comments, you press on that, you'll come on. It won't come on automatically. Obviously, today cameras on or cameras off if you want. James Melton saying the manager's job is to improve the players. Who has he improved this season? Anyone who's improved this season for you, mate?
Again, it's this thing what we've been saying, isn't it? Is he coming? Players seem to be coming in, and are they hitting them over the head with a bloody stick or a broom and getting them to play not the way in which they're used to playing, in the way in which they want to play. And the reason you bring players in is because you identify qualities in them. And if you bring them in for them qualities and then try and stifle them qualities, what's the point?
Yeah. So I'm just going through some comments. I'm getting some newer comments now. Nice one, Blue Shadow. been a member for 17 months. Also, guys, there's super chat and super thanks if you want to help out that way. There's also a join button as well if you want to become a Chatting Blues member. That would be great if you can do that. Robbie Michaels saying good evening, Nick and Stu. Evening, Rob. How are you, mate? Charlie saying, mate, it's unacceptable now. I like Davis as a man, which I do. Like, it's not that I want him to get sacked. I think he's a decent fella, but he's out of his depth here. That game was dog shit and doik stuff, and he's turning players into average shite. I mean, they brought us down to their level against you, and we've seen it numerous times this season. I mean, you're right, Rory. How are you, mate? Yeah, it was, mate. It was you.
Yeah, we seem to. It's like we can't impose ourselves. Do you know what I mean? Like quality teams, good teams, go somewhere and they impose themselves. If they're at home, they impose themselves, and they've got like a certain style of play, but they are adaptable. But
yeah,
they impose themselves, and we don't even look, mate, as if we've got the pardon my French, as if we've got the bollocks.
Nah.
You know, I think our bollocks went on the fucking back to Leeds on the coach with them, because that was that. You know, where's the performances been since then? You know, everyone's. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't know whether you feel the same way, but I feel as if like the Leeds game was like a point where, for me, if I was a manager, I'd be like, use that performance. That's the performance, and that's the level of energy and intensity and desire that I want to see.
Yeah.
You know, and you try and carry that forward. Yes, it's disappointing that we didn't win that game or whatever.
Yeah.
Done, but you try and take positives from that into the league, and it just seems as if the bleeding wheels have fallen off for me. What about you?
Yeah. No, I completely agree. You kind of set that Leeds game as the bar now. Do you know what I mean? We can perform at that level, and we just haven't come through with it. I don't know, mate. I just Boy Brown saying even the Charlton TV commentator said, why are we playing long balls and crossing into the box with small men?
Yeah, on that, the stream I was watching was the Charlton TV as well, so it was their commentators. They was bigging up Allsop to begin with, saying about his distribution, saying like, you know, he's one of the best distributors in the league and that. But at the end, they was saying that about, you know, why are you putting balls into the box like that when you've only got like Stano on there? And you know, their defenders, they'll eat them balls up all day long, which they did.
Yeah, I was going to say, Stu, like, it seemed like, because when we started out with Prisk up top, I was thinking, and Vicente on the right, I was thinking, right, I want to see balls into the box to Vicente. Do you know what I mean? We're not going to be able to play through them because they're narrow and compact. And then what happened was we wasn't playing balls into the box. We were trying to play through them. And then when we took Prisk off and brought Stansfield off, like you said, and like Boy Brown said, he was getting balls into the box, but there was no one with any height in there. It's kind of like back to front for me.
Exactly. That's is it the confusion of they've not got the right players on the pitch when they're playing a certain style, but then that comes down from the manager, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to set up that way where you've got, for me, Dodge and Priska up front, then yeah, try and get down the wings, try and get the crosses in, try and get diagonal balls in, try and get them to get like a knockdown, so the other player can get onto it. You know, try and get some support up and around. And then when you've got Stano on, you know, you use the energy, don't you? And you try and, if you can't come through midfield, then you're trying to work down the wings again, but you're getting then the balls in. For me, like when he's 25, 30 yards out and running at him, or getting to the byline and cutting the ball back onto the D for them to have a go. And it's just, you know, it's frustrating when you get to the byline or, you know, whoever's on, and then it's like an aerial ball and it's just easily cleared. Or you're not getting players into the box. They seem like they're not up with the play for me at points as well. You know, when you see some teams and they break with like pace and purpose.
Yeah, we're so slow.
We're just not there, are we?
No. There's a couple of times where we broke, and like I just seen white shirts just kind of like jogging along, and I thought we need to break a pace here. The counters on. I don't know whether that's tactical, which I think it is, where it's kind of like let's keep our shape and pick them apart. I don't know. It's just wild, man. Just wild, mate. So, yeah, this is something else as well. What I want to see, we did touch on it on the last podcast, Stu, is him trying different formations. And someone pointed out quite rightly in the last stream that 4-2-3-1 works for a lot of teams. It maybe isn't the formation, but in the way we're playing in this formation. Do you know what I mean? Where we've just mentioned about breaking. We're breaking so slow. Do you know what I mean? The tempo's not fast enough. So I don't even think it's down to the formation, even though these last few games now, I want to see a change in formation or a change in the way we play, maybe go a little bit long. I just want to see something different. Do you know what I mean, Stu? Because if we can't compete with the likes of Charlton, this is 2 seasons on the bounce now, and the likes of Millwall and Middlesbrough, which completely blew us out of the water with these players. And someone touched upon the wage bill, our wage bill, and our players compared to other sides. Then we kind of are in trouble. And kind of I say to you again, Stu, like what the playoffs now are completely done. Kind of like what I want to see Chris Davis see this season out. I don't think there's nothing gained in changing manager now. What do you want to see from Chris Davis from now until the end of the season? And that goes for everyone else in the comments. What do you want to see, guys? Because I don't think he's going to get sacked. I think he's going to get these last 10 games. Is it?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get sacked up, and I think they'll see the season out, won't they? And then they'll look at things, and I think they'll make a change in the summer. But I think as each game goes on, mate, there's more and more people like climbing over to the fence now firmly into the Davies 8 camp. I think,
yeah,
which is a shame because they've got fantastic memories of like last season being down there and the games and things, but kind of like you say, mate, we played Charlton last year, didn't we? And we played them again this year, and really we should be putting them to the sword.
It's almost an identical game.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Just and we've got like a vastly different team, and the performance is just as dire.
Yeah.
I mean, we laugh, but we shouldn't laugh because it's sad. And it's our club that we love and we love to see and stuff. And we're just like, what the fuck is going on, man?
Yeah, big up Tubbs. I think Tubbs, you went today, so he was happy with the starting 11. I think everyone was kind of no grumbles with the starting 11. I'd probably like to have seen Laird start. I think Laird's fit enough now, but was happy with starting 11. But Stano was our best player. On the way home now, I'm fuming. We dust ourselves off and go to the next one. So we're back in action Wednesday night against QPR at home.
Fair play to the guys that went down again.
Yeah, man. Big up to everyone that travelled today, man.
So
yeah, man. But the boy Bryson, the only good thing for me today was Rocky's distribution. It puts the team on the back foot, and it does, doesn't it? Stu, it turns our defenders the wrong way, and it's just something what we've been lacking all season is that ball. Do you know what I mean? And it's coming from our goalkeeper. It's wild.
This is it for me, right? So after the Middlesbrough game, right, Beadle's probably got like a big shiner and this, that, and the other, and he's probably decided, or they should have decided there and then, Allsop's going to be in goal.
Right? Yeah.
So you formulate your game plan, don't you? This is what you're going to do. Allsop's in goal, play to his strengths, try and work on patterns of play where you can get your men. He's going to hit the ball. Your men are going to be there. They're going to knock it down, and you're going to have people coming onto it. For me, that's fucking common sense.
Yeah.
They didn't. It just looked as if it was like Allsop would hit a ball, and it's it's landed 10, 15 yards away from me, or someone they get a head on it, but then it's not being. There's no one there to back them up and help them out. Because if you're gonna hit a long ball onto someone as a target man, you can't just leave them stranded, can you?
No.
You've got to, I don't know.
No. It was wild. It was all over the place. You're right, Dazaway, mate. We got one-dimensional football. Teams have worked us out, bully us off the ball. Expansive footy is great to watch when it works, but when you're in a dog fight, you've got to fight like a dog. And I totally agree. These last 3 games, we've just been bullied, mate. Three losses on the bounce. Against not great teams, let's be honest, they haven't been great, have they? Millwall, Middlesbrough and Charlton. They've just been big, physical, and like Dan said, bullied us off the ball and just made us look weak, really.
To me, like Millwall and that, they're like well-drilled teams who have got like a fucking solid game plan and a solid way of like, this is how we're going to do it. And they play to the players' strengths, and they're good at it. I think we're all at sea still. I mean, we're 2 years into with Davis, Neely, and we're kind of like still chicken and changing between what's the best options up front. Well, at the moment, fucking none of them, because we can't score a goal.
No.
Simple as.
It's fucking true, man. Robbie's saying the end of the season review should be done now, but it won't happen. Davis has failed. I think, which we all agree on with the money spent and stuff. It's kind of it's a failed project in terms of the way Knighthead look. Nice guy, but out of his depth, tactically poor. You can how people can say BOS is terrible. A few people have been saying that Brightside Samuel's terrible. He's been heavily involved in 3 of our goals since coming back. Yeah, I totally agree with that, man. He has been heavily involved. I think he set 3 up. But he has got his weaknesses as well. In hindsight, would I have picked Brightside Samuel today? Yeah. When I seen Iwata back there, I wasn't too concerned, but that's hindsight, isn't it? Like I said, I think we've got to see Laird come back in that right back position. Robbie said another reason why he should go is that the players win the shirt and then lose it. He's destroying the players. Roberts has been one of our best players and he's been dropped. Yeah, thoughts on that, Stu? Kind of like, players having a good game or 2 and then getting dropped and for no apparent reason, really.
Probably that, done it. I mean, I kind of think listening to that comment, I kind of reminds me about like what people have said about Kumas when he's he left and he went to, was it Hull, isn't it? And he's been playing the blinder.
And cashing, by the way, cashing at Blackburn.
Yeah. I mean, I think he scored an own goal at the start when he was there, didn't he? But, apparently. So, This is again for me like another reason why people question CD. It's just like these things kind of add up, and then people read things into it, and yeah, you might kind of 2 and 2 together and come up with 6 or whatever. But is there something there? I mean, I think someone put in the comments about the. Did you see the shot when the cameras went onto our bench?
No.
Oh mate, it looked like doom and gloom. There was people there with their arms crossed. There was people like leaning up against things. There was people just like looking really like glum and down. And then the CD. I mean, he ain't looked. I don't think he's looked whether he's feeling the pressure, showing the pressure, or whether he's just a bit pissed off himself. But
yeah, it's not great, mate. And just to touch on the last point, and I agree with this as well, man. It happened to Leonard. I remember Leonard had a great couple of games, and then he got dropped. I think someone come back from injury, didn't they? It might have been Pate come back from injury. I think it might have been his shoulder, and then dropped him. Osman was scintillating, then drops him. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, so there's, I mean, there's over 100 people watching, guys, which is amazing considering we've come on late. So if you can, just hit the like button. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't already. Super chat and super thanks if you want to help out that way, and join buttons. You
could add on to that last comment as well, and Brighter Samuel has done a fairly good job, and then again, got the assist. Well, fed Stano the ball, didn't he, for the last goal, and Stano, put it into Marvin, didn't he? And has been dropped. So again,
what's the obsession with Water and Pike? Because Water just can't. He doesn't. He could play in goal or fucking left back. He's got to be in that side, hasn't he? Like, I kind of get it where managers have their, but I don't see what offers. I don't, mate. Like, he runs funny. I just don't see what he does.
Again, for me, it comes back to this thing. Like, are they being overcoached? Because, like, look at Iwata against Newcastle, mate. That fucking screamer. He can tear the ball up, and he can hit it hard, and he can have like a really good shot on goal, and it's exciting when they do that. But then this year, we ain't seen no screamers from him, have we? Really?
No, we haven't, mate. It's kind
of goes back to this thing: are they being overcoached? Are they being told you don't do that? This is what you do in this situation when you've got the ball, and it's like you're trying to breed it out of them.
Yeah, man. Let's talk about leaders as well, mate. Because like I noticed it a few months ago when I was stood right behind at the back of the tilt, and it was against Coventry actually, and we won that game. But I said to my pal I was at the game with, there was a corner for Coventry, and it was towards the Tilton Road end, and there was no talking between the players. You might remember me mentioning this. It's lack of leadership. I know. Look, I don't think Clara is a captain material, but he's probably the best. I'll probably say Robinson would be probably the best captain, but he's not picking Robinson. Lack of leadership, man. How do you think this is affecting us kind of going forward? Do you want to come on, Dunk? I'll post a link. We're not going to go for long tonight, guys, because it's just one of them nights. So I'll post a link, Dunk, if you want to press on that and come on. Stu, leaders, man. What's the crack with that in terms of going forward?
Personally, mate, I don't like captains being defenders.
Yeah, midfielders.
Yeah, midfielders, man. For me, you've got to have your captain's someone who's going to be your linchpin in the team, isn't it? Someone who you're going to want to be in and around the team and playing pretty much every week. which in some respects Clara is, because he's always there, isn't he? You know, but then is he being vocal enough? Does he talk to the other players enough? Doesn't particularly seem overly evident when you're watching games. You don't see him like have a word with a certain player or you know, and it just seems to be like, well, there's the title, you can be captain.
Yeah.
But
definitely, Stuart. And when we can see goals as well, when we're walking back to the halfway line, there's no one speaking to each other.
No.
You know, which is a major worry for me. Honestly, it's a major worry if you can't be geeing your players up and not put it all on Clara, put it on everyone here.
Yeah, communication. You know, I mean, I know there's people in the comments and that who have said, and you yourself have been like, you know, about communication between the goalkeeper and the defence. You know, isn't all that. You know, and you can say that was that why Beadle got clattered, because he didn't shout, "It's a fucking keeper's ball." And getting nearly knocked out.
Yeah.
You know. But who else would you pick as a captain, Nick? Who else is in the team enough and starting enough to bloody warrant being a captain? The only other players would be Paik and Iwata. Because they're always picked. Would you want him as a captain?
I mean, it's a dead season now for me. But Robinson's. I remember Robinson. He picked Robinson for a few games, and he was very vocal. Do you know what I mean? With the back four, with the goalkeeper, and it was really nice to see. But since Robinson's been outside, we're seeing again, like I just mentioned, you know, no communication. We'll bring Duncan in a bit, and then we'll kind of finish off. We'll go through these comments. Gary's saying, "You're right, guys. So, mate, is it the owners?" This is a good point as well. Is it the owners demanding tippy-tappy football, or Davies, if they both need to change, is it tippy-tappy football or Davies? If so, they both need to change. Blues will never go up. Never go on or up. Crowds will stay away. So we did touch on this on the last one. It's the owners what believe possession-based football get you up on the data. So they did bring Chris Davies in as a manager which is prepared to play that style of football. Obviously, he was a kind of worked under big hands and stuff like that, guys. So I thought he could do the job. So I think whoever we get in, we're going to get tippy-tappy football, because unless the owners see that it's not all about possession-based and, you know, slow, methodical, pick them apart kind of football, you know, if they've seen this season that's not completely the way to go. More so, let's get it forward quicker. I don't know, mate. I don't know whether, but I think it's a big ethos of the club that, you know, this is the way to play.
But the thing on that, Nick, right? I mean, look at Premier League teams and stuff as well, and perhaps Dunk would like to come in on. Well, hello, mate.
Well done.
Ethos has changed, haven't they? Hey, Dunk. Ethos has changed. How teams play and styles of play are always evolving, and like we was hitting on with the long throws, they've suddenly coming back into fashion. You know, so tippy-tappy football, might be great, and teams might play that way for like a season or two, but then teams change because you're always looking for that edge, aren't you? For that extra 1-2% that's going to win you the game. And if it means changing the style for like a season or two into a winning style, then that's what managers do, isn't it? I mean, that's what Pep and that do, don't they? They change the style like they change the squad.
Yeah, when we've seen it with Arsenal this season,
Yeah.
we've you know that the amount of set pieces.
Yeah.
In fact, in the Premier League this season, you know, teams concentrating on set pieces. Dunk, how are you, mate? Thoughts on what we've talked about so far?
I think I don't think the club have got a thing about tippy tappy football. I think that's Chris Davis's malarkey. I just think that they want us to win games and get up and get promoted. However you do it, you know, if you're winning games, whether it's passing or it's counter attack or it's a long ball, whatever style you use, if you're winning games, you're not going to get the sack. So I think that's a no-no from me about the board demanding that. That can't not possibly be the case. Gee whiz. I mean, imagine if you got a job, you've got to win the league, but you've got to play tippy-tappy. Nah, sorry, mate. You win the league with whatever style that the manager brings to the table. Chris Davis has sold them his style of football, and they've took it on board. But if you're going to play tippy-tappy, it does work in some teams, but you've got to have the right players to play that way, and you've got to have the right formation to play that way. Now, it was great to see Allsop, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But why is it taking till now? He's a good goalie for tippy-tappy because he's aware, he's vigilant, and he can see what's going on because he's at the back and he's good with his passing. So that's a fantastic goalie for tippy-tappy football. It's taken him till the beginning of March to put him between the sticks. I am not knocking Beadle. He's a young kid. I've said this from the last one. I'm not knocking him. I refuse to knock him because it's not his fault. Chris Davis picks him. The buck stops with him. But and then going back to the players, I said it last week, and I feel like I'm getting on my own nerves here, but I'm going to say it again. We haven't got a number 10, so why do we keep persisting in this stupid, crappy formation if you haven't got a number 10? 9 players have played in that position. 9 players after 2 years or 2 seasons with Chris Davis, and he still hasn't got. And right, no one can tell me who the number 10 is. I mean, we can have a dabble. Oh, it's Deutsch or it's Stano, or, we can try him, and we've tried him, and we've done him, and we've done him. And also, what I'm having a right whinging, moaning moment here, you Water at right back, and you look at the bench, right? And there's 4 defenders on the bench. And one of the defenders is a utility defender, so he can play at right back or centre half. I don't know. I don't want to be a Chris Davis a hater. I'm not a hater. It's just that the buck stops with him. I'm not going to blame any player at all. I blame him, but it's up to the board to deal with him. I don't know.
Okay, let's quickly talk about the board and when they first came
There's not much to digest there, is there?
When United first came in, because there's a lot of confusion around what United wanted. And I remember when they first came in, and Gary Cook done a speech, and it was very much stats, and we've done research on the last 10-15 seasons, and teams with the most possession are the teams what end up getting in the top 4 or 5. So it was definitely a board decision in terms of let's play possession-based football. Possession-based football for me is kind of tippy-tappy, pick them apart, which was seen with Chris Davis. Now you have to think that they don't really know the English game, and when they're saying it, I was thinking, okay, you've done the research, and part of me agreed with them that possession teams have more of the ball, seem to do better, but I think we're seeing a change in football, and we're seeing maybe a manager that. Someone mentioned about the mentality as well. I think Kratik's mentioned it's not the style, it's a mentality of the play. It's passive and slow, the tempo and stuff like that. So I don't know whether we finish this season off, we kind of reconvene, and then Yeah, and the owners shouldn't dictate the way we play, Alan. I totally agree, mate. So I don't know. I think we're in a little bit of a pickle, if I'm being honest, guys. Stu.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you say that the owners shouldn't sort of tell us how to play and that, but I mean, when Cook got Rooney in, what did they say?
Yeah.
What I can't remember exactly what the team.
Oh, sorry. Say that again, Stu. Sorry, I missed that.
When Cook and that unveiled Rooney, what was the term that they used when they was bigging Rooney up and about the?
Oh, it was no fear football, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's coming from the board. That's
but they're cliches, aren't they?
Huh? Sorry, don't miss that, mate.
They're just a cliche. Yeah. Sorry, I'm not knocking you what you're saying. I'm knocking what he said because it's just a cliche, isn't it?
Yeah. But
they're just trying to get us to buy into the package.
But yeah, that's.
I mean, if I said to you, go on. Sorry. It's a bad signal. I don't know why.
They've bought the club and they got Rooney in because they've got this vision of like how Birmingham City they want to be and how they want the team to be, and then that all went to shit. Typical Blues. We've gone down. They've got a manager in. Yeah, he's admittedly done a great job getting us out of the league with the points tally and everything. No one can deny that. But then he's got a style of play that suits the club's philosophy of the type of football that they want to see the Blues team play, rather than what Wrexham have done. And I don't want to fucking bring them up too much, but what they've done is like, what's going to get us out the league? Who's going to get us out the league? What style are we going to have to play to get us out the fucking league? And they've done that every league that they've gotten into and got out of. Spot on, and mate. That's it. And we ain't doing it. Yeah. In my opinion, we ain't doing it. They're trying to shoehorn. This is how we want to play.
Yeah.
The club's philosophy. This is the manager who we've got who's can try and play that way. And they're bringing players in and then getting rid of players who don't fit the mould.
Yeah.
And it just ain't working, really, is it? They're identifying players who can play with quality and play in certain fashions and play this, that, and the other. And we've seen it time and time again where he's got players in and then they fuck them off, or we don't play them enough.
Yeah.
It was that one we had last year. We
sold him,
that Belgium team, and he looked exciting. I've said it before.
Yokoyama, was he?
Yokoyama, yeah, mate. You know, playing, sticking in the under 21s or something, developing. But we ain't developing. The only thing we've developed is a headache, innit? I don't know.
I completely agree with you, Stu. Like, I mean, Em's just put here, owners have the right to dictate how we play totally. It's their money, and as long as they keep true to their ambition, we will be okay eventually.
Yeah, I get that. Emzo, I get that. But if you win 6 games on the bounce with the long ball, who's going to tell the manager what to do?
Yeah, isn't it up to the manager?
I don't know. Like, you just leave him to do it. And it's also...
Hold on a minute, mate. Isn't it up to the board to identify a good manager who's done well, right, at previous clubs or whatever, and say, look, you do what you want and we'll give you the resources? Or is it... Or we were at a point now at football where we're handing it over to the board and they're doing X, Y, and Z and saying, no, we want this style of football. Dunk?
Well, it's up to the manager, isn't it? I mean, just look at Middlesbrough the other night. They play 4-4-2 and then they come to our place and the manager changed the formation, horses for courses. He has to have that right. You can't have the board telling him how to play a game of football. You know, it's just I can't believe that the club are telling Davis how to play. It's Davis's baby. He come with his CV. He whacked it on the table and said, "I've got this badge, this badge, this badge. I believe in progressing and we're playing through the thirds and keeping the ball and getting to the edge of their box and doing the business." And they are brought into that. But
Yeah,
I want a manager. Go on.
I don't think it's so much that Davis has gone, I can do this, that, and the other. I think it's more so the board have identified Davis as you can do what we want, what we want to see. Yeah, and like we see, they sacked. We go back to the sacking of Eustace, right? When United came in, Eustace was in charge, doing relatively well, and they said to Eustace, right, we don't want to play like this. We want to play like that. We want to play. We want to see more of the ball. And Eustace turned around to them and said, I haven't got the players to do it. It was in September. We hadn't signed many ball players, what were comfortable on the ball. Eustace was doing the best as we could with the players he had at his disposal. And Eustace actually said, I can't play that way. So United sacked him because he was kind of saying, well, I can't do it. And like Stu touched upon, they brought Rooney in. They made a massive hoo-ha about it. And this is not a dig at the owners, because I love United and I love. I didn't like Gary Cook, but they brought Rooney in, which was a total disaster.
Yeah.
And Rooney tried to play that way with the players what Eustace had at his disposal at that time, and it was a fucking shambles. And since then we've seen recruitment, and we've got out of League One, but we should have got out of League One. I don't know, guys, man. I don't know what we do.
No, I don't believe that. Nick, I don't believe that. I think that's a big crock of what the club said, because they came in and they just wanted a man with a high profile to put bums on seats. I am very cynical, and it had nothing to do with whatever apart from Rooney was well known and no one knew who Eustace was. It's as simple as that in my book, anyway. It had nothing to do with. They used that as an excuse to get rid. You can't tell me any different, because I don't believe it. It was just the fact that he was a big name, Rooney.
No, I agree with that, Don. Sorry, Stu. Go on, mate, Stu.
I was just going to say, for me, it's a blend of the two. They wanted to play a certain way. Eustace was saying, I can't play. Not that I can't play that way, but we ain't got the players to play that way. So they looked for a manager, A, that would come in with that ethos of football, and B, was a certain profile, because they admitted this anyway. Didn't it get them something like 5 million in clicks and this, that, raised revenue?
Yeah, of course it did.
Rooney. That's why they were still quids in when they fucked him off. Yeah. So it's kind of a blend of the two. But for me, that ethos thing is still coming from the club. This is how we kind of want to do it. And they've identified in Davis the man who's trying to provide that. But for me, this is it, mate. Football ain't stats all the time, is it? It's not. It's not data. It's people. It's fans. It's situations. No. It's all these other variable things. So stats will only get you so far. But I'd rather take a fucking proper manager with a proper ethos and a proper style of play, or a style of play that is suited games and the team that we've got, rather than a manager who's got the certain bloody ethos and style of play and is too bloody stubborn to change anything, and trying to shoehorn players in there and kill the spirit of the players. Because half the team, mate, for me, they don't look fucking happy. And what's the point in playing football or doing any sport if you ain't fucking happy.
Yeah. No, you're right, mate. Dunk.
You play to your strengths. I mean, if you've got a select group of players, you play to your strengths, don't you?
Yeah.
You know, like, and if I don't know what's up with this signal on here, mate. I'm having a bad time trying to stay in the show, actually.
Go on, you're all right,
We
brother.
can still hear you, mate. That's all good.
Play to your strengths, guys. I mean, you know, like, you just.
I think we might have lost Dunk. You're right, Dunk.
Still there.
I can still see him. I think we've lost comms.
I like that.
We lost comms.
Man.
We lost comms. Don't have to remove him, man. Nice one anyway, Dunk. Appreciate you coming on. Yeah, we kind of make some good points. So just, let's go through these last few comments. We've been going for an hour anyway, Stu. Boy Brown saying 100% agree. The Rooney point was all about media and exposure. I agree with that, but you know, we've touched upon it. We think it was a bit of both, to be honest. There was hoping Rooney could play a certain way with the players he had at the time, but you know, I'm sure Wayne Rooney would have knew, you know, after one or two training sessions that he can't play a certain way. But it is what it is. We'll just go through a few of Star, then we'll finish off, Stu. Okay, Matthew's saying Chris Davis is so bad. He never changes formation or tactics. Needs to be direct, physical, and actually creative. He's so negative and boring. So, like the 4-2-3-1. Do we want to see? And I want to see it, Stu. Like let's change formation a bit now. These last 8 or 9 games, you know what I mean? Let's try maybe 3 at the back with the wing backs bombing on. Maybe Laird and Wagner. I don't know. Maybe let's try a 4-3-3 with Doyle, Pike, and Solis. Maybe probably be a Watson more than likely. But you know. Is this what we want to see now? We want to see a little bit. I mean, if he sticks to what he's been doing this season, I think he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble, and he needs results.
As I say, mate, if you're doing certain things a certain way and you're getting certain results, you can't expect things to change if you just carry on doing the same thing. It's there's a saying there, isn't there? I can't exactly remember it, but it's like it's just basically saying it's pointless. It's suicide.
It's insanity repeating the same mistakes over and over again and expecting different.
Yeah, that's it. But she said, mate, this is the Davies way, isn't it? And he seems to be willing to die on the hill, as you kind of said last week.
Yeah.
About Beadle, but I don't think it's just about Beadle. I mean, I'm down next week because I got that 2-ticket bundle. But you know, I'll tell you now, mate, I'm expecting Beatles to be back in goal.
And me, mate.
I'll tell you that now.
Yeah.
That's what
Someone's put get Klopp in. He's a good manager. I think he's joking there. Get Klopp in. I'm expecting Beadle to be back in as well, mate. You're right, Paul. Lovely to play attractive football, but fans would rather win ugly and lose beautifully. And I think that sums it up, innit, Stu? We just want to win. You like Arsenal fans now.
I want to see us approach games in a manner where we're going to win them, or we stick a chance of having a go and winning them. So if it means playing ugly sometimes, then great. You know, and that's done. That's kind of like where I thought we'd kind of changed in that Coventry game, because it seemed such it felt like a pivotal game for us.
Yeah, it did.
And then now it's just gone to fucking crap.
Yeah.
And that again. So mate, I'm like you. I want to see different things, but to be honest, I ain't expecting it at all.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Just
quickly, guys.
and a load of
Yeah,
drops.
yeah, Beasley goal. Yeah. Just hit the like button, guys. While there's, I mean, still 115 people watching, which is amazing. If you can, just hit the like button, just to help the channel out, help the algorithms out. I think it helps the episode get, it's kind of like more spread. So, someone's put, do you think season tickets interest will fall for next season? I don't think so. Do you, Stu? I think we've got a bit of a waiting list. Not,
I do.
yeah.
Mm.
Okay.
Yeah.
You think actually season ticket? You think we
I
won't sell the?
Because we went to, like, me and my sister and my niece, we went to that many league games in League One. We actually qualified for the season tickets. We ended up on, like, whatever it was, that system.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that I actually got, like, the golden ticket to get, like, a season ticket and missed out. But to be honest, mate, I'm glad I didn't get a season ticket for this year.
Yeah.
You know, and next year, if off the back of this season, the performances stay like they are, I ain't interested in getting a season ticket. I'll just do what I've been doing and just go to the games as and when I feel like it, and you know how the team's doing. I'll still watch avidly, like the away games and other ones and that, but I'll just be like, yeah, we'll go down and that, because I do enjoy going down. I enjoy seeing people, I enjoy the atmosphere and everything. But, and this is what it comes back to, isn't it? If the product, and this is what Knighthead and Wagner always go on about, is the product, innit? The product on the pitch, mate, ain't getting people interested, or isn't what they want to see, then people will lose interest to a degree.
Yeah, well, I totally take.
And it's a shame because it's kind of like losing that momentum of what we've built up.
Yeah. With
the new owners, with the, the point tally last season and stuff, and how good he went, and it just kind of seems as if like we're getting stuck in the mud again.
I think we won't see a loss in season tickets. I think we'll max out again this season, and we'll be fine. I really do. I know for me personally, like I'll renew regardless. So I've been a season ticket.
You're hardcore, mate. You
yeah. Well, the thing is, if you miss one season, say if we the way I look at it, if you miss one season, say if I thought I'm not going to buy a season ticket for next season, and we went up, then you gutted for that Premier League or whatever. So I think the people I'd be very surprised if there was a lack of interest in the season ticket. I think the maximum will get sold out. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see anyway. Because then
they probably will sell all the season ticket allocations, but I don't think there'll be such a clamour for them. If you like, such a hype and buzz around, like, oh yeah, I managed to get a season ticket, and that, like I said, I'm like, off the back of League One, I wanted a season ticket because I'm now in a position where I could. Whereas before, I was living in Coventry and my job was working 4 on 2 off, so I didn't really get many weekends off or anything at all. My shifts were 2 earlys and 2 lates, which absolutely sucked. So, but now I'm like I said, I would have got a season ticket for this season off the back of last year, but off the back of this season, I wouldn't be trying to get one. No.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
I'm not a fair weather fan because I'm born a blue.
Yeah, no, I'm not knocking it, Stu.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But that's just me. I'm like, I live in Redditch. I look after my mum.
Yeah.
If we go, sometimes I come down on my own and it's fine, like I did for the Middlesbrough game. It's all good. But, for people, mate, it is a lot of expenditure. You know.
It is, right. And Tubbs says there, if we finish mid-table end of the season, which I think we will, season tickets will drop. Gary saying, well said, Stu. Thumbs up from Alan. So, yeah, people seem to think that season tickets will drop. We'll have to wait and see, guys. We'll have to wait and see. But listen, it's ended Charlton 1, Blues 0. Always good to have Stu on. Thanks ever so much, Dunk, for joining. Everyone in the comments, everyone that's hit the like button, and everyone that's subscribed. If you are watching on replay, just do it. Subscribe bell, guys. We're on the way to 2,000 subscribers now, which is amazing. Nice one, Tubbs, man. God bless you, brother. 55 Chatting Blue membership. So they will go out. I think they go out randomly, don't they, Tubbs, to people. And Dave, so I was with Dave today. He's done up another flag. So we'll do another flag draw as well in the next, probably the next couple of weeks. So hopefully we will be back after the QPR game Wednesday. If not, it will probably be Thursday afternoon if Stu's available. But yeah,
That's better.
the days are better in this year.
Well,
I know, yeah.
last week, mate, I got back in and it was like midnight.
I know,
By the
yeah.
time I get from St Andrews back to New Street, train back to Redditch. Well, last week I was all right, mate. I got a free taxi because the guy was a Borough fan, so he paid for me.
Yeah.
Got a little walk.
Yeah, it's really late by the time you get in, and then by the time you finish the stream, you know, it's like 12:30. Yeah. So thanks ever so much, guys. Stu, thanks ever so much, brother, and I'll hopefully see you Wednesday, Thursday night. Keep it right on.